Hello my dear friends and welcome to my channel. My name is Barbara and today we're going to be looking at Saturn in the third house. So this video is for you if you do have this placement. If you're a cross watcher, welcome as well. If after this video you are interested in learning more about Saturn, I do have a video that I previously recorded all about Saturn, the transits, the karma, and what it all means. So definitely check that out. I will put that either in the description box below or in the comments below. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. The third house deals with siblings, communication, the written or the spoken word. It can also deal with technology. Saturn is the planet of restriction. It's the planet of karma. It's the planet where you might have a lot more responsibility that's placed upon you. So when you have Saturn in the third house, the area where you're going to be having the restriction, happening is going to be in your communication, the written or the spoken word. You might have a hard time communicating things, getting your ideas out there. Sometimes you might feel like you're not heard. You might feel like you're not understood. You might feel like, what's the point of saying that? They're not going to get what I'm saying. They're not going to get where I'm coming from. Also, when you have this placement, when you were younger, maybe you didn't speak for a long time. Maybe you had like a telepathic connection with your mom, where the mother just understood what it was that she wanted and you didn't feel the need to speak. Also, it can be struggles in the area of the written or the spoken word. But what's ironic is the area that we struggle in the most is the exact area we're meant to master. So those of you who do have Saturn in the third house, you guys do seek to communicate, You might be interested in working in these areas, communication. You might be interested in working in things like PR, marketing, maybe writing short stories, poems, all these types of things. But you might struggle, You might struggle to get started, Or it might be something that gets activated for you later on in life after your Saturn return. After you deal with these issues surrounding communication, you might struggle with communication in relationships, You might not actually say what you feel. You might not actually say what you think or what's on your mind. Or you might even have a hard time figuring out, what is it that I think? That's the thing with that third house, it's Mercury. So it's all things mental in terms of your intelligence. The intellectual stimulation could be something that's really, really important for you guys. So it's kind of like, you guys might feel like you can't find your purpose, these types of things where it's like, you feel like you don't know what you want to do. You have a lot of projects that you start that you're interested in, but you probably drop them a lot of the time because of the fact that, again, there's a Saturn restriction that's placed on it and it's in Gemini. That's what the third house is ruled by. It's ruled by Gemini. So Gemini tends to be scattered, because it's kind of like, this thing's interesting and this thing's interesting and I want to do all these things. I want to, multitask on all these projects, but then nothing actually gets done. So for those of you who do have this placement, you might struggle to maybe pick a career or maybe something that interests you or something that you guys do in your free time. Again, you might have a lot of unfinished projects. What I am here to tell you guys is, if you don't have resistance and you learn your lessons and you accept the karma, you're probably going to clear these lessons up by your Saturn return, which is usually age 27 to 30, sometimes starts at age 28, depending on your natal chart. So that's really what tends to happen. So it is something that can be cleared up. If you guys don't clear it up by then, the lessons repeat, they keep repeating until you learn the lesson. So that's the whole thing here. But it's like, overall, you guys do have some sort of desire to speak, to communicate things to people, maybe to write, these types of things, but it's like that could be the exact area that you guys struggle in, where it's like maybe you guys do speak but you feel like people don't understand what you're saying, or sometimes you guys can go into the energy where it's like you don't want to talk at all. Going back to what I was originally saying, maybe it took you guys a while to actually speak. Now, because it is Mercury, it's like there's gonna be a lot of information, because it's like Gemini is interested in learning all these things, They're usually the jack of all trades, but the master in none. So a word of advice for those of you who do have this placement, maybe picking one thing, finishing it, mastering it, moving on to the next, and still doing all these different things, Like still doing this, but you've actually finished the project. Now you can start the next project. Instead of starting this, doing it maybe at 70%, I'm over it. Now I'm going to do this, 50% of my energy and effort, I'm over it now. These types of things. So this could be very helpful for you guys, especially again after your Saturn return, because it's like around the Saturn return, there could be like a shakeup of energy in this area of, again, communication. Maybe something's going to come up in your relationships. Speaking of relationships, siblings is a huge thing for this placement. So when you guys were growing up, maybe you were raised by your siblings, you might have your siblings in an authoritative position towards you instead of having them as sibling, energy, where it's like early on in life, you just don't get along with them because it's kind of like another parent. Even if they don't treat you this way, you might have this perception of them where it's like they're another parent. Things like maybe when you were younger, you were constantly seeking approval for them because, again, maybe the parents were busy, or maybe it was a single parent household, or however it may have manifested, but there's like usually some sort of rift between the siblings, but also it's coming through to mention there could be rivalry between the siblings that takes place. It's like karma around siblings. So it's like basically when you have this placement, you incarnate to clear karma around siblings is really what that is. If you do have siblings, a lot of the time later on in life, you do actually start to get along with your siblings because again, it's karma that has to be cleared. When you're younger, you guys might not see eye to eye. Communication could be a huge issue, okay? Because again, this is the house of communication. You guys might feel like they don't understand you or you don't understand them. Why are they acting this way? You might separate from them at an early age. And then later on in life, you guys might actually become like best friends, okay? Where it's kind of like the karma's been settled. That's how Saturn works. It delays. I put it into air quotes because it's like, it's not really delaying. It's just the area that has restriction placed upon it, okay? So it's kind of like, it's up to you really how fast or slow you're gonna learn these lessons. But it's kind of like, that's just the way Saturn works. Sometimes you don't even see that there's a lesson to be learned until your Saturn return, which again is usually between age 27, 28, it starts for 3 years approximately, depending on your placement. So that's really what tends to happen when you have that Saturn in the third house. It does deal with technology. So it's kind of like there could be things around, you know, computers and laptops, maybe even cars, maybe making huge purchases of these things that are going to help you. Maybe you have a business or whatever it is and you need a computer. Okay, you're going to work remote because that's like the thing these days. So maybe that's something that happens around your Saturn return. You make a huge purchase, a huge investment in a piece of technology. Or maybe a car. With cars though, it's kind of like for whatever reason, it might take you a while, okay, to actually start driving, okay, when you do have this placement. Because again, Saturn does delay and the third house does tend to deal with cars and driving and all these types of things. You might also not have the desire to drive. There could be an energy of that as well. Because again, it does deal with tests. So it's like, there's something where you don't see things clearly, okay, in the earlier part of your life where it's like, maybe you have to constantly do the test over and over again. And not just in terms of like cars and driver license tests. It could also be in terms of like school. You guys might struggle in school. It might take you longer to learn something. Because again, there's this energy of kind of like, this interests me where I want to hang out with my friends or like, I want to socialize or whatever it is, right? And it's like, when you actually have to sit down and focus on your school, it's like it might actually be challenging for you or any type of test in general, right? Any type of test. Maybe you go off and do like a real estate license or whatever it is, okay? But that's the thing, because again, it's like, because it deals with the written or spoken word, it's like maybe when the instructor is teaching you something, you're not comprehending it the way that they're teaching it. Again, earlier part of life, most of the time you're going to be affected by this. Or it could be like you're reading a book and it's like maybe you interpret, you know, you're learning something or whatever, maybe sociology or whatever, and you're learning it and you don't interpret it the way that the, you know, writer intended it to be. And it's like, okay, now you think that this is what you learned, but it's like you didn't learn this, because it's like, the thing is, that's like the Gemini mind. You're just kind of like able to see maybe like they meant it this way or maybe they meant it that way. Multiple choice is probably going to be your detriment in life. Like that's the thing when you have that, you know, Saturn in the third house, because it's like Gemini, it's like, it's the overthinking, it's that mental energy, right? So it's like you guys could overthink things, especially if you're doing maybe a test or a multiple choice thing where it's like, this sounds right, but this could also be right. You know, there's kind of like that almost weighing energy. It's interesting because Gemini can also be almost as indecisive as Libra, okay, energetically, where it's like they're weighing things. They're like, okay, this makes sense, but this answer makes sense. And these types of things, okay, so you guys might really struggle in the earlier part of your life, okay? Maybe you had some sort of learning disability when you were growing up in school, kind of like maybe you just didn't learn at the same pace as other children. Maybe there was a language barrier. That could also happen with that third house energy in there. Some sort of language barrier. Maybe you were an immigrant child. It's like, again, maybe you're learning several languages at the same time, and it's like, it's harder for you to actually understand it because it's like, on top of that, it's that Gemini energy where it's like, okay, but it can mean this and it can mean that. That's kind of the idea here when you do have that Saturn in the third house. I will tell you guys, if you are not resistant to the lessons, which I've been saying for the previous videos as well, usually it does clear up by your Saturn return. Around your Saturn return, there's going to be something here that resurfaces, okay? So it kind of depends what area you dabbled into. Maybe, you know, there were issues with the siblings and the issues were never resolved and now it blows up in your face on the Saturn return. You guys go off and you don't talk maybe for like 10 years. And then later down the road, you guys start speaking again. It could be something like this, or it can be around, you know, technology, like I mentioned, with the large purchases, or maybe you're back in school and maybe you're struggling with tests. Maybe you constantly have to do tests to maybe get some sort of license. I don't know, maybe you're doing nursing or whatever it is. There's a lot of different ways that this energy can manifest, but it's kind of like Saturn is just kind of making it a long drawn out process. You will get there, okay? It's just a matter of patience and just learning this about yourself. That's why we love astrology, right? Because it's like astrology teaches us the area where we may be lacking. And it's like, because this area is karmic, it is an area of growth also in that sense where it's like it's karmic. You're here to learn some sort of lesson, and it's the responsibility and the restriction. So you're being restricted in this area, even though again, you might have that deep desire where it's like, I just want to speak, I want to be heard, I want to be a speaker, I want to be a writer, I want to work in marketing, whatever it is, right? So keeping these things in mind, that the energy does clear up. Again, as soon as it's brought to your awareness, you can work on that. So this is my video on Saturn in the third house. I do hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, please do like, share, and subscribe, and I hope you all have a beautiful rest of the day.